The first thing we want to do is work on our online store settings. So let's go ahead and go to the admin panel here and click on settings. And we'll start with the general settings here. The first section of the general settings allows you to edit your store name, your homepage title, homepage meta description, and emails. So let's start with the store name. As I've mentioned before, you can always change your store name, but the only thing that wouldn't change is your URL right here. So let's say you change Cool Teas Factory to anything else. You can totally do that. Just don't forget to click on save, but your URL will not change. It will always remain coolteasfactory.myshopify.com. But that shouldn't be a problem because nobody will really see this URL since you're going to use a custom domain. Next, we'll be talking about the homepage title and the homepage meta description. I just want to say something real quick here. These two might not be activated in a particular theme. It depends on the theme really, but it's always a good idea to fill this out anyway. And you might also have to add it in your themes section. So I will show you how to do that later, so don't worry about that. First of all, let's start with the homepage title. Now, the easiest way to explain a homepage title is to show you one. Let me go ahead and open up a tab here, and let's search for the word t-shirts. Okay, as you can see here, you have the results for the keyword t-shirts, and the blue link here, the clickable link that you see here, is basically your homepage title. And the part below it here, the couple of sentences that you see, this is your homepage meta description. So now that I've shown you the homepage title and the homepage meta description here, let's go back. First of all, when you choose a homepage title, you always want to stay below 70 characters because you don't want it to be cut off. Let me show you what I mean by that. You see how there are dots here because it's cut off? It's always a good idea to stay below 70 characters so that it appears more professional. Let's go back. Okay, what is important about the homepage title and the homepage meta description? There are two parts to it. The first part is it's basically a factor when people decide to whether click on your website or not. So if we go back here, when I searched for the word t-shirts, I was presented with a lot of options. Now, one of the factors that will determine whether I actually click on this link or that link will be the meta description that I read here. If what I read seems to be relevant to me and what I was searching for, then most likely I will click on this link. And the same thing applies to the homepage title. If not, then I'll probably look for another website. And that's why it's very important to research the important keywords that you will need to use. Think of what your customers might be looking for and Googling when they're trying to find products similar to yours. And use these keywords in your homepage title and meta description. That's going to be important in SEO as well. So previously, before I started recording this video, I just typed in here a quick title and a homepage meta description. Now, I didn't really put a lot of effort into it because this is just a store I'm building to show you how to build a real store. But definitely, when you're building your own store, you want to put effort into it and really try to make it look as appealing as possible and try to include keywords. Okay, so let's move on to the next part here. The account email and the customer email. The difference between these two emails is that the first one, the one that you put here, and by the way, you can always edit it to a different email. The email that you decide to put here is the email that Shopify will use to contact you. So let's say a customer places an order. Shopify will notify you by sending you an email here. Or when Shopify wants to email you your monthly invoice, for example, again, this is where they'll email you. On the other hand, the email that you'll put in here is the email that your customers will see. So let's say a customer went to your website and saw a product that they liked and they purchased it. Once they purchase the product, they will receive an order confirmation email. And the email that will appear to them is the email that you put in here. That's why you want to make sure that the email that you put in here is a professional looking one. You don't want it to be at gmail.com or at yahoo.com. You want it to be something like, for example, info@coolteasfactory.com. Now, in order to get such an email, one of the services that you can use is Google Business App. Let me show you that. Let's go here and type in Google Business Apps. As you can see here, it says Google Apps for Businesses. Okay, so this is basically where you'll be able to set up an email, a professional looking one. But of course, you have to remember that there is a monthly fee for that. So in order to do that, just go ahead and click here on Get Started and follow the instructions. So I'm just going to go ahead and close this tab. Next, you have your store address section here. You can always edit the information here. And remember, whenever you change anything, always hit save to make sure that everything is saved. The information here is basically what Shopify will use when they're calculating your shipping rate, your tax rates, and this is also the address that will appear on your invoice. Next, let's go to the standards and formats. The first thing you see here is your order ID. I recommend that you don't change this, so just leave it as is, although you should know that you can. This is basically how it will look when your customers see it and when you see it. Here you can change your time zone by clicking on the drop-down menu, and you can change the unit system by clicking on the drop-down menu as well here. You can either choose to use pound and inch or kilogram and centimeter. And here you can change your currency. Here is basically where you paste your Google Analytics code. Shopify does provide you with a report, and also you'll be able to see information about your customers in the dashboard. But I really do recommend using Google Analytics because the data that they provide is much more powerful and more in-depth. In order to do that, let me show you where to go. Just open up a new tab and search for Google Analytics. And click here. And in order to get the code for your Google Analytics, you're going to have to click here on Access Google Analytics and go through the various steps. Once you are presented with your code, you'll paste it here. And that's it. Next is the section where you will be able to change your password. Right now, it says that your store is password protected, and this is the password. It's just a random password that Shopify has created. In order to remove the password, you're going to have to pick a plan. But since this is not really important right now, I'm just going to leave it the way it is. One of the benefits of having a password is that people will not be able to view your website until it's ready. And once you feel that your website is ready and you're ready to receive orders, just come here and remove the password. And that's it for the general settings.